And now, ladies and gentlemen, we never gave him a proper introduction. And we love him because me and him just go at it every single time he comes on the show. We are now talking to former Vikings linebacker and current Vikings radio network broadcaster, Pete Bercich.
How you doing, man?
We're good, man.
Nothing. I was at the combine for the first time since 2006. The last time I was at the combine, I was looking for a job. So I didn't feel like going back there. But yeah, 30 years ago, I actually went through the combine as a player. So that was an experience. Did it, for 4 years, 5 years coaching, and then, looking for a job. And so is being part of it. It was actually a good place to be because it's so much different now with the media, and you can actually see the players. You can ask them questions when they're up on the podium if you want. And there's so many other people, in our business that are there. People like Rick Spielman, who used to be our GM. He's there at CBS Sports, so it's great to see him. And just a lot of Dave McGinnis, the former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He's now with Tennessee, who's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite guys to talk to. Now, there's a guy to get on this show. If you want to get a dude on the show that's old school, he was the Bears linebacker coach in 1980. I think he started in 86 or 87. So Wilbur Marshall, Mike Singletary, Otis Wilson. I mean, then you had Hampton, McMichael, Dent, Perry. I mean, but the stories, all this wrapped up, in a beautiful Buddy Ryan package, right? So, I could sit there and listen to him spin yarns all day long. So anyway, my point is, it was good.
And obviously, today was the first day for the combine, and we got a chance to watch some of the defensive linemen. Has anything stood out to you so far at the combine? Is there a player that really stands out to you, that sticks out to you like a sore thumb for the Vikings?
Well, for the Vikings, it's kind of a big deal. A couple things I think for Vikings specific came out. One was, that the management, and they have no interest in trading Justin Jefferson. I mean, somehow that got put out into the ether, and they never really commented on it, and some people just thought there's something to it, maybe. I don't know, but that and they do want to sign Kirk Cousins. They do want to bring him back. And I think you'd say that with an asterisk, right? I think that there's going to be, he needs to, it's the guaranteed money. How deeply do the Vikings have to tie into him? And I think they'll tie into him as deeply as they have to, depending on free agency. We'll see. So those are a couple things that we learned, and, learned about this draft class of quarterbacks. There might be 6 of them that go in the first round. So there's a lot of talent in that respect. I do prefer watching and learning about the defensive linemen. So I I looked at some of them, kind of a little bit before I went out there. And then, when I look at our defense, man, I'll tell you what, I would love the 2 guys from Florida State. Jared Verse is unbelievable. I think he'd really be a perfect outside linebacker for us. And then the other guy I liked a ton was Braden Fisk, who's just kind of he's a brawler, right? And when I was talking about the middle of the defense, man, I'm like, this is, with Flores, it's a place to be. But watching, that kid, how the get off and the acceleration off the football, things like that. There's certain traits that that both these guys have that if you watch a Jared Verse highlight, that's kind of the cool thing, is whenever he watches a little highlight film and he's sacking the quarterback, and then Fisk is always somewhere right there. So the 2 of them, were very impressive. So we'll see. I mean, we need some D linemen. I know that we need bodies, and
I'm going to pitch him for you because guess what? I'm a Seminole fan. I grew up a Florida State.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm going to pitch him, baby.
Here we go.
You got 2 monsters.
Don't worry, this will be better
one
than
on the outside, one on the inside. Why don't you go after both of them?
I would. I mean, again, I don't know everything about him. I'm not a scout, right? All I'm saying is, with what I've seen, And what little bit I have seen on tape, because these guys, they watch.
Did
You're
you watch them
watching.
both against Louisville?
No, not specifically against Louisville. I haven't gotten that far down the road. We'll get as we get as we get closer to the draft, and we as a team with the Vikings Entertainment Network, you say, all right, you take these guys, these D linemen, you take, then I'll sit down and we'll study them a little bit more. But from what I've seen, yeah, the guy's fantastic. I mean, both those guys.
Verse is very good on the outside. He's very fast. He's probably the fastest defensive lineman in this class. And I was looking at the comparison of Myles Garrett. I think he's a little bit smaller than Myles, but he can come off the edge pretty quick, and he's very good. Yeah. He's very lengthy, and he has good hands. I think if the Vikings have a chance to get him, but now some people think he could jump in and actually fall in the top 10. I don't think he does. I think he falls a little bit out of the top 10. I would say he's a teen type of player, and the type of weapon he could be on the outside is fantastic.
And that's the other thing. I like that about you got. That's the one thing about the draft that you look at these guys and say, I would love to have this guy. I'd love to have Verse. I would love to have Darius Robinson. Right. You're saying it's just, then you have to put a thing next to it and say, okay, well, where, right. Where do you want them and all that. And I'm not really, I don't like that mentality even though it is reality. It's just a matter of, hey, I would yes or no to a guy. Yes, I want this guy on my team. You know what I mean? No, I don't want it. And just kind of putting him in that bucket and saying, yeah, I love this guy. Love this one too. So, there's a bunch of them, like Drazon Newton, the kid from Illinois. Yes. I've heard a lot of really, really good things about him as well. I mean, you look at the draft, and I don't know if it's across the board, but at the quarterback position, you're getting kind of a perfect storm where you've got a couple of 21-year-olds, and you have a couple guys from the COVID years, right? So they're 23, 22. But you haven't seen this many possible starting quarterbacks in the NFL come out in 1 year at one time, which because of that and where we are with Cousins, personally, I think this is the time to get a quarterback. We have Kevin O'Connell, former NFL quarterback, offensive coordinator. I mean, this is the time for the franchise to figure out who's going to carry the torch down the road, and this is the year to do it because you have more options than I think you'll ever have probably in another 10 years maybe. But then turn around, people say, well, there's a lot of good offensive tackles, right? And you're like, okay, cool. Well, I'm looking at these interior defensive alignment and some of these outside linebackers, and there's quite a few of them there too, right? This is a great draft to have second and third round picks. I don't know how many the Jets have, but I'm just saying there's
zero. The Jets do not have a second round pick.
Zero.
They don't. Yeah, so this is a bad year to not have a second round pick. I mean, I'm and again, that's just me from a 10,000 foot level, right? I mean, we don't have a third round pick, and I'm like, because I think there's going to be there's just a lot. I mean, we're drafting 11th, and you look at some of the mocks, and depends on what the Patriots do at quarterback, what the Giants do at quarterback, blah blah blah. If that kind of all goes that way, we might be the first team to draft a corner at 11, right? You can get the number one corner in the league at 11, or the pick of the litter at 11. I mean, that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, because we were discussing even yesterday too. Like, I think even just in general, the top 10, probably 8 or 9 of those picks to be offense too. So you could have your pick of the litter of the adjusters if you want that. We had a draft guy on yesterday, John Vogel, who was mentioning Byron Murphy from Texas as a guy that definitely could be a hot commodity in that middle of the first round. So yeah, they're gonna have the pick of the litter on defense. And
yeah, he's a big dude, 6'1", 308. Then you hear he's got short arms and all that. You're like, I don't care about his arm length. I just want to see the guy play football. Here's the thing. When it comes to D linemen, the main thing is just the power and leverage that they have. And that was one of the things, you mentioned Jared Verse. I don't know if there's a guy or like Aiden Hutchinson is an example. He's a hustle guy, right? I mean, he plays at an effort level that allows him, I think, to get to the quarterback a lot. The great pass rushers can either bull rush you, hump you, do the hump move, and then maybe turn around and beat you with speed. It's the speed to power that's so deadly. And there's nothing that an offensive lineman fears more than getting freight trained. You beat him around the edge. Okay, you got me. My footwork, this, that, my point, my angle, blah, blah, blah. You just take a guy down the middle and dump him. I mean, that takes the soul out of somebody. My point is that's very hard to teach. If a guy doesn't have that power, and a lot of times the guys that do have the power in the pass rush are the ones that are a little more stiff and they don't move, as fluidly and as well, but they're the ones that have a lot of strength in the pass rush. And especially if you're talking about nose tackles and three techniques. I mean, those guys, you got to have strength. You've got to be strong at the point. And so, like, you look at Byron Murphy, 308 pounds. I mean, and the guy's built like a freight train. If you've got that strength and that power, we can teach you the rest of the stuff. But that's something that you definitely need. And you got to have great feet. That's the other thing. I mean, the best D linemen are just 300 pounders with great feet. You know what I mean? The big kid from Texas that ran a 4.2 something or 5.2 something today at 360 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, give him a jump rope and say, "Hey, let me see those feet." And if he can, and I'm serious. If he can move his feet at that weight, oh my goodness, look out! Woo.
Well, Speedy, I'm going to give you.
Wait, which one of you is the Giants fan?
Right,
that would be me.
That would be him.
That would be you. How about your nose tackle,
Dexter Lawrence? Yeah.
Have you ever watched that man play? Like, just when we were playing the Giants last year, we played him twice. Yeah. Obviously, as the guy above you will. You're the Giants fan. That's right.
I'm the Giants fan. Yeah,
that's right. I'm sorry. We beat the Jets in between the Giants, so we kind of.
Oh yeah, we had to get you back specially on the show for that because he was so confident that the Jets were going to beat the Vikings.
They got screwed,
and I never got the $500 you bet me.
Yes, I did. I owe you $500. Listen.
I'm saying you still owe me $500. Anyway, I
digress. No. I'll take you out to a nice dinner. Let's go, man.
$500 dinner.
We are coming out to New Jersey to play one of the New York. We play one of the New York teams in New Jersey.
The Giants. I think the Giants this year. I think it's the Giants.
Dexter. If you ever to watch that man rush and the way he can just destroy people. I mean, he can just embarrass people. And that's what I said offensive linemen are afraid of. That guy, he's one of my favorite people to watch play this game. I wish he was a Viking. Obviously, he's not. But even regardless of the Giants' record, to be able to go out there and watch that guy go about his business, man, that's just awesome.
There were three words that really stuck out to me when it came to everything he just said, Speedy. You ready?
$500. Those are the three words.
I've got the three words, the three great words that just came out of Pete Bercich's mouth. You ready? Hump, freight train, and stiff.
And that's 4 words.
No, freight train is together, man.
Freight train is 2 different words.
Speedy, it's my words. Shut your mouth. You're rolling. Shut your mouth. Anyways. That's what I got right there.
Pete, what's better? The 3-word, 4-word hype or Errol's Jets hype to Chris Wormley?
I didn't pitch him. I wasn't trying to pitch him. I know he wasn't going to pick the Jets because I know he's not picking the Jets. Why would he want to pick the Jets when he has 4 other teams that are in a better situation right now?
He could have a girlfriend that lives in New Jersey. So of course when your girlfriend lives in New Jersey, you want to play for a New York team because New York teams play in New Jersey, except for the Bills.
The real New York team, of course.
I'm sorry.
And just so Snug says Errol always pays and stuff like that. No, you're wrong.
I had to do that. I got a good friend who's a Bills fan. And he's like, "Well, we're the only team in New York." I'm like, "Wait a minute, what? Oh, yeah, you're right. You are the only team." Anyway, sorry.
We are talking to former Vikings linebacker and current Vikings radio network broadcaster Pete Bercich, a friend of the show. He's been on our show quite a few times. We love him, and he was out at the Combine enjoying himself, getting a chance to, clear his mind after the football season, as he did. But,
what a season to forget, too, for us.
forget from you guys. I mean, as a Jet fan, we had Dalvin Cook. Oh, the mighty Dalvin Cook. And what did he do for the Jets this year? Absolutely zilch. So thank you to Dalvin Cook.
He should have stayed in Minnesota. We just released Alexander Madison. So we've been burning through running backs up here.
It's interesting.
Some can't stay healthy, but
Justin Jefferson is a name that if you don't know who he is, well, shame on you. He's one of the best offensive players we've seen in a very, very long time. The guy plays hurt this year. He was dealing with some injuries throughout the season, and it affected his numbers, but he still broke over 1,000 yards. He still had over 6 touchdowns. He's still one of the best offensive talents we've seen in a very long time. You look at this offseason, and you were speaking about Kirk Cousins, and you were you're speaking about maybe bringing in a young quarterback. At number 11, would you draft J.J. McCarthy? Another guy that Jim Harbaugh was pitching. He said he's the best quarterback in this class by far. Give him 3 years, and this kid is going to show up every single week and put up the numbers. Do you think J.J. McCarthy is the finishing piece to this offense to match him up with Justin Jefferson?
He could be. I think he could be. And by the way, you don't just because you're drafting a quarterback in the first. If we draft at number 11 now. Doesn't mean we can't have Cousins and this guy for a year, right? Doesn't mean you can't. You can do that. There's no law against it. Now, you better be making your hay in free agency, which we don't have a ton of dough, to do that. We're not like the Chicago Bears in that respect. It's weird. When you hear people talking about, JJ McCarthy. And it's the upside that's so appealing. I mean, dare I say, I don't know if he's going to be there at 11. He may not even be there at 11. I mean, when this stuff, this, it's like when this stuff starts and the dominoes start to fall, teams get a little bit, they get worried, they get a little desperate, and they want to jump. They want to jump up there. And I mean, Caleb Williams, I think. The majority of the people I spoke with say he's the best, and he's almost once in a generation. He's that good, right? Drake May is the next guy that comes up. Kind of like a better version of Josh Allen in college, that kind of thing. Jay Daniels' name comes in there, but then it's like JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, Penix. It's like those guys are all in there too. And if someone takes a liking to any one of those other three. I mean, Denver think about the guys that need a quarterback. That's why it's so important for where New England decides to go. If they want to go somewhere, what you guys want it, what the Jets what do they want to do?
Falcons,
the Falcons, and talking to all the people dealing with the Bears, they were saying that Fields thing might get done sooner than later. But you go to the draft thinking, oh, they want Fields, he's staying there, and then 2 days later, you're, I don't know. Maybe they are. They're going to have a deal done, which I think will help the Vikings out because it'll be one less place for Cousins to go to if that happens. So, one less team to raise the price tag if that's what it is. But it's all everybody's 0-0 right now. No one's played any games. No one's and everyone wants to get better, and so let the excitement begin.
Jets are losing already 14-0. Hey, come on. Everybody is throwing them under the bus. You have guys you have Dawkins throwing him under the bus. He's never played for the Jets. But how the hell does he know what's going on in that locker room? But hey, you know what? Let's do it. If everybody else is throwing him to you have ex wide receivers, ex quarterbacks, everybody throws him under the bus. Hey, you know what? I might as well speak up for him. I don't know anything about him. And all I know is I like Quinnen Williams, and I hate everybody else on that roster because they all have egos. Okay? Everybody in the NFL has an ego. Every single one of you.
Me? I'm not in the NFL.
I didn't think
you said you. I'm like,
you did have an ego, did you not?
At one time back in the day, but I think I've grown out of it.
Show us those muscles, man. Show us those muscles. No. You don't want to do a couple of those muscles.
No. That's all right.
Flex, no. Hulk Hogan.
Oh, you know what though? I remember being a kid though, and that's the whole thing about bouncing the muscles on your chest. You know what he used to do on TV. I just
Yes.
watched I also just watched the Ric Flair documentary. He's my athletic hero. I mean,
Really?
no other human being has been elected to their said Hall of Fame twice. Ric Flair has been inducted in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame twice. Once as a heavyweight champion and once as a tag team member. Right. So there's another phrase for you to remember, along with freight train and on the other ones.
Stiff.
Stiff, that one.
So
Stiff, yeah.
Speedy like the hump.
He's up to 5 words, really 7 words.
So Ric Flair might be one of the greatest athletes in a generation. He's always and what am I going to say? But anyway, watching those guys growing up, that I got my first concussions trying to be like those guys, and I owe a debt of gratitude to all those guys.
As everybody knows, we are talking to former Vikings linebacker and current Vikings Radio Network broadcaster, our friend Pete Bercich. You look tired, Pete. You look tired.
What? I've been I've been in 2 different states. No, I drove.
Oh,
so I'm in Chicago. I'm in Chicago right now, so I just drove down there. Yeah, it's a long day though. I was out with John. I was out at the cigar bar last night with John Randall, old teammate of mine. That guy he's one of the greatest human beings ever. But yeah, we had some fun, and so it's been a long 24 hours.
You sure cigars were the only things you were smoking? I mean, we have Sean Smith on the show.
Yeah, no. No.
He likes to smoke other things.
I like stimulant. I deal in stimulants, caffeine, nicotine, stuff like that. Not my thing.
It's okay.
Sean never played for the Vikings, so you don't have to send him any cigars.
He wants to tell us that he wants to forget his time with the Bengals and the Cowboys and all the other teams. He just wants to remember the 2 years, his final 2 years with the Kansas City Chiefs, as he wants to flash the no rings he won over there in Kansas City. And he says Kansas City is him. He's Kansas City. Man, Sean Smith, man, we love him, but he's losing his mind, man. He is losing his mind.
We've also decided now if the Bengals ever do reach a Super Bowl, he's not allowed to root for them. Because they are now rival Chiefs.
Yeah.
It seems like every single ex-football player or football players that work with us on this show, they want to put down one team and one team only. Speedy?
The New York Jets.
There you go. And who's a Jet fan? The only Jet fan on the show?
Yeah. You.
Yeah,
well,
you're looking at it. I am the crazy SOB that roots for the New York Jets. Unfortunately, but you want to know something? I'm a realist. Pete, because I already know what's going to happen this offseason. You ready to hear this? I am going to give you feedback. I could read the future for the New York Jets.
Lay it on me. All right, here
we go. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers comes back. He pitches Hard Knocks again for the second time in a row. The Jets get picked for Hard Knocks, and Aaron Rodgers pitches Scantling. Yes, did you hear that? Scantling
Marquez Valdez.
Yes,
that's Scantling.
Yes. Bakhtiari will be a New York Jet, man. Yes, the old man himself.
The one-legged Bakhtiari.
Yeah. That's right. There you go. The Jets are going to trade Zach Wilson for a 9th-round draft pick. Did you hear that? A 9th-round draft. It doesn't even exist.
In the 2028 draft.
That's The Jets are going to bring in Ryan Tannehill as the backup. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt.
Well, you know what, though? Hold on now. Tannehill would be fine, right, until you get to the playoffs. Is that kind of
right? For under 100 yards.
Hey, if the Jets make the playoffs, it's a miracle. So that's my. Hold on, it's not over yet.
Okay, I was going to say.
Devontae Adams will hide in one of Aaron Rodgers' luggage bags, and he will be mailed to Aaron Rodgers' New Jersey house. And then all of a sudden, you're going to hear stories coming out that Devontae Adams has completely disappeared and nobody knows where he is. And then all of a sudden, Woody Johnson's going to announce him that he was traded to the Jets. That's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You can sell it and you can mail it any way you want it. But that,
what do you think the payout would be on a prop bet for all that to happen?
A plus 3,000. None of it is going to happen.
At least.
Good. So when that happens, he'll have your $500.
You see. I think you share a how would I say it? With what you just laid out, you sounded a lot like a Viking fan. You did. I mean, you guys are credited with a Super Bowl win, right? So there are only 20 teams in the National Football League that have actually won the Super Bowl. The Vikings were, since 1961, we have not, right? Lost 4 Super Bowls. In my years in playing and coaching in the radio, we've lost 4 NFC championships. So your story sounds a lot like the Viking fans, except ours just has a high. It's just like you get sucked into it. It goes well, and then the rug gets yanked out from under your feet. Right? You're just saying this is going to be brutal from day one. It's a
dysfunctional.
It's a 17 game, just beat down. Whereas with us, I think, our Viking fans will say, oh yeah, let's still go. And we'll start out, do great. And all of a sudden, boom, someone gets hurt or boom, something happens. So, but the end result is your heart gets broken. And when you look at it that way, you and I, we share a lot with our teams.
My heart's never going to be broken because I've seen enough bad football every single year.
But see, you're past that though. Your heart's been broken.
I tell the truth.
Well, I'm just saying, right? Your heart's been broken so many times, you get bitter, right?
I'm not bitter. I like to laugh. I sit there and watch the game. I giggle. I eat a lot of ice cream. But man, I eat a lot of ice cream during the football season.
And laughing is also a productive. It's a creative way. Laughing's a creative way of dealing with trauma. And I think you've been traumatized quite a bit.
Yeah, except when he was on his cruise and almost broke a TV.
I'll tell you a quick story. Story, Pete. I was on a cruise. I was hanging out, enjoying myself, and I didn't watch the Jets and Kansas City game. I told myself I'm not watching the game until the fourth quarter. I see that the fourth quarter, it's close. It's 23-20, 4 minutes left. I got to watch it. I was watching like a comedy show. I was like, guys, we met this lovely old couple. They love to dance. We had a lot of fun. Me and my girl had a lot of fun with these 2 older people. Rhonda out there. They were fantastic. But anyways, we're there. It's 4 minutes left and I'm watching the game. I'm sitting there at the bar. I'm not drinking. I don't drink. And I see out of my rear view, my rear view of a television, all right, a call being made by the referees, okay, passing interference, okay. I watched it in replay 3 times, and I don't even know where the passing interference came from. And the game, obviously, if it didn't count, the Jets get the ball. It's 4th and 5 or 4th and 6.
Right, the Chiefs would have had to punt. Yeah.
They would have had to punt. The Jets have a minute and 45 seconds left.
More than that, I think it was like 2.5 minutes.
Whatever, 2.5 minutes left. Probably go down and win the game or take it to overtime. And who knows what happens? What happens is Kansas City win the games. Kansas City wins the game. They get the first down, and there she blows. Okay, and what happens after that play? I take a cup that's on the bar, okay? It was a cup. It was a glass cup. There was nothing in it. I just took it, and I threw it across the bar right over the piano player, and it hits the TV. And everybody stops. The music stops, and the piano player tells me, "You effing, you know what? You almost hit me with that." And I said, "Yeah, please do something for me. Throw me off this boat and make me drown. I don't want to watch this team anymore. I'm done. I'm done. The season's over. And I sit there and I say this because Zach Wilson had his best game of his career against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then right after that game, everything started to happen. The onslaught of craziness starts to happen. So there is my story. It ruined my whole trip. I was sick to my stomach for the last 3 days of that trip. Thank you to the New York Jets. Thank you to Robert Saleh. Thank you to the referees, the horrible referees in the NFL. You're all rigged. Everything is rigged.
And unfortunately, the Vikings got a taste of it the next week with the Jordan Addison should have been pass interference.
Sick.
So.
It's sick.
We had plenty of that.
Agita. Pete, I have agita. Okay. I am sick to my stomach. Every time I speak about the New York Jets, when I hear the Jets, Jets, I really want to say, and I'm just going to say BADS, bads. Okay. It's just,
I do.
It's not even a word, but it's my word.
Well, I think you've definitely taken yourself out of the pot, or at least out of the possibility of you announcing the first round pick. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think Woody even wants to see my face. I mean, would you want? That's probably why they don't invite me to any of these, off-season activities. Is they're like, oh, this guy's going to kill somebody.
Well, you obviously care if you're willing to throw a glass halfway across the ocean and hit a TV.
I care about this team. There's no doubt I care about this team.
If you'd had your Jets jersey on, people would have been like, "Oh, okay, it's all right. He's a Jets fan."
I don't even go to the Pete. I don't even. First of all, I won't go to a Jet game. I haven't been to a Jet game in 2 years. Okay, 2 years I haven't been to a Jet game because the last time I was at a Jet game, I remember this. It was very clear to me at this game, and I'm going to mention, I'm not going to tell you what team it was. One of the fans said something to me after the game and then threw something at me, and I turned around and almost killed the guy. Okay.
Wait, you were in Philly watching the Jets?
No, it wasn't the Philadelphia Eagles.
Sorry.
It wasn't them. I'm not mentioning the team, but it was a fan, and I turned around and I almost pounced on him, and I almost got arrested. So I stay away from MetLife Stadium. I stay far away from it, and I'm probably better off. Okay?
You keep telling yourself you don't care about the Jets. You just keep telling yourself that. Throwing glasses, attacking fans. I mean,
I'm a fan. I'm attacking fans. I'm a fan. I'm wearing a Jets jersey. And by the way, I will never wear a Jets jersey at a Jets game again. I'll pretend I'm not even a Jets fan when I go to the game because I just get myself into trouble when I go to those games. I don't drink either. I don't drink.
I was going to say I could if it's the Vikings, I'd get you a ticket and get you a Viking jersey and.
That's not going to happen, my friend.
Well, no. I'm just saying. Think about it, though. You wear the purple. If the Jets win, you're happy, right? The Jets win, you're happy. If the Vikings win, at least you look like you're wearing the right colors, and you can, kind of be happy that you get a free ticket from the guy up in the booth calling the game.
I'll tell you what, Pete. You want to
think about it. Just don't answer. Just think about it. Just think.
If you want to get me a job with the Vikings, and you want me to be play-by-play or broadcaster for your team, I'll be happy to do that.
You sound like you would be best, I think, post game. That would be
sold. I'm sold. Okay,
yes,
I'll host it. You'll be
fan line after the game,
and we'll have Speedy on the other side. He could be, twirling something. I don't know.
Hopefully, this is better than the Dalvin Cook in the trunk idea we came up with last time.
I wouldn't listen. I'm sure you're an idiot. Hey, listen, I'm getting a stiffy right now.
That was supposed to be if the Vikings or Jets played the Super Bowl.
I should get a Viking jersey.
I'm just waiting for the whatever's behind you to fall down and see the bars from the jail cell that you're in. Right?
Get me out of here!
Exactly.
That's reserved exclusively for our friend Bashaud Breland.
Oh man, I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see myself doing that. But hey, listen, I could do a post game show. I can make everybody laugh. And the funny thing is,
you'd be perfect.
I'd be perfect because even though I'm not a Viking fan, I would make it seem like I'm such a Viking fan. And then after the whole, especially when they play the Jets and the Jets lose, I just rip apart the whole stage of it.
Just hate on Aaron Rodgers. We'll fit right in with
throwing my
Vikings.
chair.
It only happens once every 7 years.
There you go. So I think I'm good. I mean, pitch it over there to the Vikings. You know, you want to bring in a New York guy to do the post game show, and he'll.
He's a New York guy that likes a New Jersey team, but he's going to be in Minnesota.
There he goes.
I like it. I like it.
Great pitch. Great.
I like that. I like that.
I'm a New Jersey fan. I'm a New Jersey Jets fan. There you go. Hey, listen. To me, when you're broadcasting and you're doing radio now, no matter how much you love your teams, you got to be honest. And now that I've done this for such a long time, I'm not even though I'm a Jets fan and everybody knows me as a Jet fan, I don't root for anybody. I want the Jets to win, obviously. Yeah. I want to see them win, but I don't care if they win or lose. Honestly, I really don't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I think it's funny. I think watching the Jets, it brings out, it makes me pissed off for the first 5 weeks. And then after that, I already know what's going to happen. So I just laugh. I watch the game. I have Pete, I have like 19 guys. We're in like a Jets like text message pool. Every single one of them texts me through the game that I put myself in airplane mode because I don't want to hear it anymore. They're all screaming at me, telling me I'm an ass, I'm an idiot. How am I a Jet fan? I can't stand this team. They're a bunch of losers. They suck. I don't want to be the fan of this team anymore. I might as well bury myself 6 feet under. Okay. So this is what I hear during the show. After the game, I'm like, you know what? I'm just laughing. I should take it and post every single text message up on my Twitter. It's the funniest thing. It's it's a comedy show, you know?
And you could do that. You could do that.
I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah. We got to move you out to Minnesota.
There you go. Yeah,
you love the winners are great. You'll love the winners.
I love the winner.
No. I used to say that too. Well, I grew up in Chicago. Oh yeah, I love the cold. Cold's great. No, not this kind of cold. No.
Speedy, please tell him. Tell Mr. Bercich what I like.
I will say those are the different level of Minnesota cold. So
no, but tell him what I do in 20-degree
weather. He does wear short sleeves and shorts.
20. How about minus 26?
Yeah, that's a whole other extreme.
Listen, I'll probably wear a long sleeve T-shirt and shorts. I'm telling you right now, I love the cold. Okay. I love the cold. So me being in Minnesota, I played hockey in Minnesota. I played hockey for many, many years. So I know what Minnesota is. And there's a lot of snow. And it is freezing over there. The temperature is definitely low.
Yeah. This winter hasn't been that bad, though. So it's better.
Oh, that's good. I mean, maybe that's why you're growing more hair. You know?
No, I'm just glad I still have it.
Yeah, you do look good, man. You do look good. You really do. I think it's great what you do, right? And by the way, I listen to Minnesota Vikings play-by-play from you guys and your partner, and I love
Paul,
what you guys do. Yeah,
thank you. We have fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We have fun, and thank you for that. I
do. I listen to you guys. I'm a big fan of you ever since you've been on the show, and I definitely I support what you do, even though I'm not a Viking fan, and I love what you do because I think you have a very interesting personality. You were in the NFL. You understand the game very, very well, and the way you kind of bring it to life. If you're a Vikings fan, it's must listen to. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and it's everybody wants to know why, right? And that's kind of the thing. It's why is this? Why is that? Why is JJ so good? Why is this not happening? Why didn't we run the ball here? Why? And I know, and that's what kind of like what I want to do is just, I don't want to say educate because that kind of seems like a, you know what I mean? It has a, let me educate you to it. And that's not the case. It's just, having been a coach, I know what it's like to drive home after a game and listen to the radio and have fans call in and say, why didn't they have this guy in at running back on third down? Right? They're idiots. They're stupid. And I want you sitting there screaming at the radio saying, we had him in on third downs all week at practice, but he couldn't handle the protections. He had no idea what the F he was doing. We couldn't put him in. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not our fault. It's not like we didn't think of it and try it. It just didn't work.
Mm.
And we'd rather have it not work in practice than not work on a Sunday afternoon, right? So I think that, and people, the difference between the great teams and the, you know, the difference in teams is it's so small. I mean, these teams are all so close. They all have a salary cap. They all have really, really good athletes, and some days it's just not your days. And then sometimes when you lose, I think there's more people that want answers when you lose, and they want to know, you know, are we in trouble here? Or, you know, is there something really, you know, sometimes you're like, yeah, if we don't fix this, this, and this, there's going to be some, or, you know, sometimes the ball just bounces the wrong way. Yeah, but this has been, this will be 29 years of this. I mean, it's been, I can't remember all the plays, right? I can't remember all the games. But I'm very, very lucky that I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's not work. I'm at the combine. It's not work.
No.
I mean, you know, I'm sitting here, just having a great time. You know who you know what? You know Pete Prisco?
Yes, I know who Pete is.
CBS Sports,
I would love to see you and he just talk, or just sit there at a dinner somewhere and just listen to two of you go back and forth. It would be 2 hours of entertainment. I mean, you know, I love Pete. He's a great, you know,
I'll hook it up.
Let's go to dinner.
I'll take him out to dinner. I owe you a $500 dinner. I might as well take Pete with me.
Yeah, that's true. At 10%, you know, interest, compounding continuously. So
he'll do that after he wins his parlay for Devontae Adams being hidden in the suitcase.
Hey, listen, there's a possibility. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he likes to go into that darkness.
I don't know, that David Bakhtiari one in the suitcase or whatever it was. That one may not come true.
David Bakhtiari come out of a suitcase.
Well, according to Pete, he only plays with one leg anyway, so he left the move.
The best part is he'd be carrying a suitcase and all his hair would be hanging out because he closed it on his hair, right? And it'd all be hanging out the back.
Maybe he'll bring some of the beer he loves to chug at the Bucks games.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, that's what linemen do now. They chug beers at other games. They go to other games and just chug beers in the stands, right?
Yeah, the Titans players did that with Nashville when they went to the Stanley Cup, and I think that was kind of when the trend started big time, and then now everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
That's what we love, and that's what I love about, you know, radio, and that's why when the national stage starts to ring our phone number and let us do what we do, and that's entertain people, we're a very unique show. We're not going to sit here and
thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God you guys are unique.
Yes. We have to be. I mean, we have to make people laugh. I'm not going to sit here. I laugh at everything.
You're right. Hmm? And you're right about this. So I grew up in Chicago, and I grew up watching the Cubs games every day. They're on WGN. This is back, you know, before cable and everything. You only had 4 stations, but you had Harry Carey, Steve Stone, you know, Jimmy Pearsall. It's like to give you an idea, there was, and you can look this up on YouTube, but Harry Carey one day made a comment about how so many guys are breaking bats, right? A bunch of guys had broken bats, and Steve Stone's like, well, Harry, you know, it's just hard to find a good piece of ash these days, right? And the microphones cut out for like 5 minutes because the two of them were on the ground, you know, laughing so hard. But that's, you know, it's the Disco Inferno with the White Sox in the 70s or the 80s, and you know, that's what sports is meant to be. It's supposed to be fun. You got to have some fun with it, because if you take it too seriously, it's just a game.
Problem. But Pete, that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of these broadcasters. Yeah. It's all about who's following you on social media. It's what's this and what's that, what's hot. Listen,
and I get but I get a level of professionalism, right? I mean, that's kind of. But I mean, like, you know, for example, like Tony Romo was catching a lot of heat for, you know, not knowing this and not, you know. So that's. I get that you know, you want to be professional. You know, the guys out there have earned the right to have their names pronounced correctly, and you know, things like that. But at times you just got to point out the absolute folly. You know what I mean? It just sometimes it's just, you can't make it up. Like we had a game in Kansas City, I think it was. Does Kansas City have a mascot? They have a mascot, right?
Yeah, they got that wolf thing.
Yeah. And some fan ran on the field, and the mascot, like they tackled him, and then the mascot jumped in and started, And PA and I had stuff like it was just, you got to have fun with it. You can't take it all seriously and all that, whatever. But because you'll be miserable, like a Jets fan.
Yeah.
A particular Jets fan. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like the Jets. I mean,
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Why wouldn't I?
You don't like the Jets. Stop lying to the fans. You don't like the Jets.
It's his favorite.
I've liked the Jets since they had Brian Cox.
Hey, it's his favorite team that has green as its primary color.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I think Brian was better on the Patriots than he was as Jets.
Maybe.
Anyways, Pete, we love you, man.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate it.
We'll get you on before the season starts, as always, and maybe pitch us to the post game. Pitch it. Why don't you just say, listen, we got this New Yorker guy, we got these guys. They're stand out.
I'm not. You know what? Let's not pitch it. Let's just get you on a plane out to Minnesota
anytime. You tell me when you want me to fly out there.
We'll get you the credential.
Right.
And just before the show starts, I know the guys that host it.
Awesome.
One of the two of them, we just kneecap them, right? We just kneecap them. And they're like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do?" Boom, there you are.
I'm not Tanya Harding.
What are the odds that a guy was going to fall down 6 flights of steps the day that we have, you in here, right? And then it's done. And then it's done because people are going to be like, "Oh, I don't care if they lose. This guy's hilarious after the game. I love this guy. I hope they lose the rest of the year." There you go. And then you can live in the cold, like you say you want to.
I don't mind it. I don't want to do the Tanya Harding thing, but yeah. Whatever you want me to do, man.
There's no gold medals involved here. It's none of that. This is just
a golden mic, man. You give me the golden mic.
People meet with accidents all the time. It happens.
So let's plan it. Speedy will be my aggressor. I mean, he doesn't look like the killer type. I mean, he'd be perfect. Look at him. I mean,
no one would suspect that guy. Woo!
For the last 2 times we've come on the show, we now have Dalvin Cook in a trunk. We have Devontae Adams in a suitcase. David Bakhtiari in whatever with his hair, and now this.
All right. Well, here's the thing. We'll work on it. We'll massage it, and then we'll revisit in the preseason. How's that?
There you go. And Speedy, keep your stiffy in your pants, okay?
No. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about me with massages. I'm not Deshaun Watson.
No, there we go. There we go.
Well,
all right, gentlemen. You guys have a good night.
You too, Pete. We love you, man. Keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll talk to you.
Love you guys too, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Pete Bercich. We have a lot of fun with Pete. Pete's awesome. He really is, and he's pretty laid back and cool, and it's great when you get a guy like that actually understands personality and realizes that we just like to have fun. I mean, as soon as we went too far, he was like, "Up, see you later."